Shalom. This is an emergency broadcast alert giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakadash, in whom we are in great debt. Double honors to the apostles of great millstone who rule well, continue doing so, standing firm in the eyes of terror, who I learned this truth from. To the elders, the bishops, Akim and Aquab, salutations and blessings to the house of David. We are the hopeful elect of GMS. This is your brother Quasiyar with another quick one. And have been many creatures, unknown creatures, that we don't know of that still come up, right? And this individual is actually, he studies creatures, animals, insects. I forget what they call that. He mentions it, and that's not important. The important thing is that as these creatures that we have not ever seen, even through the books, like Esau Edom, so-called white man, likes to document everything he captures. And so this whale particularly has escaped him, right? And how is it that, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm gonna play a little piece of the clip of his video, and then I'm gonna read the scripture.
Ever found to date, and these specimens have mostly been turning up around New Zealand and one all the way over in Chile. The very first record goes all the way back to 1872, when someone found a lower jaw on a remote island, and even then, scientists didn't realize what they had, since they thought it belonged to a completely different species of whale. Then, over the course of a few years, more and more bones started washing up on the beaches around New Zealand, and it wasn't until scientists actually ran DNA tests that they realized all of these remains belonged to the same species, a whale that no one had ever seen in the flesh. And then, in 2010, something crazy happened. When a mother and calf watched...
Wait a second. No one has ever seen in the flesh, meaning they only had found bone too recently, all right?
Washed up dead on a beach in New Zealand. It was only then when DNA testing came back and confirmed those were spade-toothed whales. Scientists literally had the animal and didn't even know what it was. Now, in terms of what the cetacean actually looks like, it's got that classic beaked whale shape that's built for deep diving. But the weirdest part are the teeth. The males have these huge spade-shaped teeth that stick out from the lower jaw, hence its namesake, and they can get to around 9 inches long. Scientists believe that these whales use these teeth for fighting other males down in the depths, which is just crazy to think about. And speaking of deep, that's probably the reason we've never seen one alive. Beaked whales are some of the best divers on the planet. They can stay underwater for hours and dive to depths of nearly 10,000 feet, which is almost like 2 miles down in complete pitch black darkness. So if the species spends most of its life down there, well, then it makes perfect sense why we've never seen one alive. The most recent specimen, found just 2 years ago, was the first time scientists could properly study a fresh, intact specimen. And even then, they were still figuring things out. When they dissected it, the scientists found things like 9 separate stomachs with squid beaks inside, which all pointed to the whale being a deep-sea hunter. But still, they were still left with no real answers about how this whale actually lives. And that's what makes this so crazy. We're not talking about some tiny fish or insect. This is a massive whale, and we still know almost nothing about it. So, with so little sightings, the question is it still out there? Well, 100%, since they are such cryptic deep water animals living so deep, and the fact that they're quite intelligent animals, I'm fairly certain that somewhere in the deep South Pacific, there's probably a whole population of these things just living their lives completely unnoticed. And until the day we finally see one alive, the spade-toothed whale remains a whale we've only ever seen after it was already dead. Next up.
Now, he said even cryptic. Let me go back.
Massive whale, and we still know almost nothing about it. So with so little sightings, the question is it still out there? Well, 100%, since they are such cryptic deep water animals living so...
All right, so this is Job 41, verse 1. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord, which thou lettest down? Can canst thou put an hook unto his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Will thou take him for a servant forever? Will thou play with him as with a bird, or wilt thou bind him for thy maiden? You know how Esau Edom likes to capture creatures and lock them up behind bars for exhibits. Shall This is verse 6. Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? You know what they do to the fish, right? Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thy hands upon him. Remember the battle, do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? None is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? Who has prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. And that's pretty much the point, because Yahweh Bashin Yahushai, everything belongs to Yahweh Bashin Yahushai. And the reason for Leviathan you haven't seen Leviathan is because he has made Leviathan to be able to move around without you, or should I say, without you being able to detect or catch him or his babies, because I'm sure that there are, because if there's one, there's got to be another. Yeah, the Lord always made pairs, all right? Even even him as a father, the son, and the spirit, there's a connection there, all right? There's a connection of family, if you may. And verse 12 goes on to say, I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his commonly proportions. Eventually, you're going to see this creature. Who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with his double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible around about. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. And if you know anything about crocodiles, people, hunters, have taken clear shots of crocodiles with all types of guns, and it doesn't phase them. It just depends on their size and, of course, the type of gun. But nevertheless, it's pretty hard to take down a large crocodile with any gun. So just imagine this creature that the Lord is talking about. Verse 13, Who can open his doors? No, it's 4:15. Salakia, that I was reading. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a closed seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together that they cannot be sundered. By his Nesines a light doeth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindles coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together, they are firm in themselves, they cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as a stone, yeah, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. Nether millstone. When he riseth up himself, the mighty are afraid by reason of breakings, they purify themselves. The sword of him, the sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold the spear, the dart, nor the arbiger, harbinger, harbinger. He established iron as straw and brass as rotten wood. Well, the point is made, man. You know, ain't nobody gonna point a weapon at him and be able to actually stand up. You know how they make books of chivalry, and you have a guy on a horse with a spear fighting a dragon on a book and stuff like that. That's not gonna happen. He's gonna turn into dust in the midst of Leviathan's eyes, and that's pretty much the point right there. You know, let me just show you something else that I know. I know it looks like an earthquake. I mean, to me, it could be an earthquake, but who knows if it's Leviathan moving around, and he only comes to breathe whenever he needs it. He comes out at night because he likes the moonlight. I don't know.
Weird for me boat being right here. Oh, I'm about to get splashed. What is really causing them waves? Oh, I'm about to get splashed. Side note though, what is really causing them waves? Them waves came all the way up on shore, and then they continued out. Oh, I'm about to get splashed. Side note though, what is really causing them waves? Them waves came all the way up on shore, and then they continued out. I can't say I've ever seen that before.